Hello, my fellow T-birders. This video is about rebuilding the Autolite 4100 carburetor. This particular carburetor is a C2SF. They're all the same, basically. They rebuild the same. It's a pretty complete carburetor. It's dirty. Anyway, I'm not going to show the disassembly process. I'm going to take it apart and I'm just going to show you guys tips on how to properly rebuild these and what to look for, okay? Thanks. Okay, I took the carburetor apart. Here it is. I did not take the butterflies out because the screws are swedged in, and if you look in there, you'll see they're swedged in from the factory so they don't fall off. They don't want them to come out, so I just leave them in. And also with the lid, this bimetallic strip here, this bimetallic valve, we glass beaded the lid, so I covered it with tape and didn't hit it with the glass because it'll bend and ruin it. So we already glass beaded this, the lid. Now, a lot of people will say you cannot glass bead a carburetor, and they are absolutely right. You should never glass bead a carburetor, but I do it because I have the tools and the know-how to blow everything out properly and to get all the glass out, and I know where to sand glass bead and where not to glass bead. Okay, so now it's time for the blowing process. Blowing out the carburetor, that is. And I'm going to show you how to do that and what to do. Now, I have special tools. I have these sized tubes, little air blowers, whatever you want to call them, fittings, that fit into the holes. Now, they don't have to fit perfectly, but some you want smaller than others and some you want bigger than others. So, here, hold that. So what I do is I blow out, I glass beaded it, which you're not supposed to do. And I blow out all the holes like that. And I'm feeling for glass. You can feel it hit your hand. It's like sand. And I blow out everything. And then when I blow out these holes, I'm feeling underneath. These holes go to the ports. They go to these holes inside the venturis. So, and you have them in the secondary, primary, and secondary as well. See here? Here's the primary. And then here you've got holes everywhere, and you got to feel. So that one, see. So I can feel it, and I always blow them. I always back blow them. You want to back blow them. You want to feel for glass. Now, if you just dunked it in carburetor cleaner, you do the same thing. You just want to get all the carburetor cleaner out, but you want to make sure that the holes, all the passageways are free. I blow everything out. I blew this out already with this. I blew it out with that. This seals the hole, you know, put it like that. Then I go in here. You know, I blow it there, blow it here where the fuel goes in. I blow all the holes on the side. These are the choke. Fuel inlet. I didn't blow that one out. Oh, that's the vacuum advance. So that's going to be a port. Yeah, and I can feel it in here. Feel it on my finger. Now these you can't back blow because you can't get in there, but there's a port in there. Can't see it, but right there, there's a port right there. Right here. And that's this for your vacuum advance. And then you blow it all out. Now when we glass beaded these, but we did it very lightly. You have to really, most people haven't done this 100 times, and they don't have the tools and they don't have the skills. You really shouldn't glass bead this stuff. And so then you're saying, well, why the hell are you doing it? And I'm doing it because I've done this so many times. It's really the best way to clean it if you have the means to blow it out and clean it thoroughly, which I do. And we just glass beaded this lightly, and you blow out all these little holes here, all the little holes. And when you blow them out, you got to back blow them as well. You know, like this goes to here. So, and then you can back blow it. See? And then these go to these holes here in the venturi. This goes there too. I can feel that here as well. So if I blow in here, I can feel it coming out there, and I do. Anyway, that's the trick. You got to blow everything out, back and forth, over and over again. And when I glass bead these, I don't wet them. I glass bead them and then I blow them off dry. Because if you wet them with the glass in it, it'll turn to mud and it'll stick inside the holes. Now, these primary and secondary venturis, these are a problem area. I keep the old gaskets. I was very careful to take these off. The problems with these is they crack. These brass tubes, they crack or they fall off. You could pull these out and the tube will be laying down in the hole. And usually they're no good if that happens, especially if these brass tubes are cracked. But these ones are not. They're in good shape. They're not loose. They're not cracked, that I can see anyway. So they're in good shape. Okay, the biggest problem with these primary venturis is they warp. And you can almost see that here. This surface here, this surface warps. All of them do it. If you have an Autolite 4100, yours is warped. And what they do is they go like that. They warp. I'm not very good doing this one-handed, but so here are your tubes, and then this side, each side. So then the gasket lays in here. The gasket lays in here like that. And that's what happens. Even when you screw it down, you don't get a fit. And see, you've got ports in there on the end. And those have to be sealed with the gasket. And if those ports are not sealed, this carburetor is not going to run right. See those ports? So what I do is I keep the old gaskets and I reuse them. And I put one new gasket on and one old gasket on. And I make sure that they're okay. Now, if these gaskets are bad, then you're probably forced to buy another kit just to rob the gaskets out of it. Now, when I put the venturis in, this is the secondary, I use the two gaskets like I said before. You can see the two gaskets. I've got the old gasket, I put that on first, and then the new gasket on top of that, because these things are warped. And I don't want it to be a problem later. And then there's a little gasket that, oh no, this one has no gasket, sorry. So anyway, and then you tighten that down and you do it with two. I did the same thing with the primary. Use two gaskets. Now, not every single one in the world is warped. You have to look and see if yours are warped. Take a straight edge to them, and if there's any warpage at all, you got to use two gaskets. Also, you notice that I use JB weld on the tops of these. These are caps. The factory puts a metal cap. You know, they machine it. They have, this is an open hole, and they do all their machine work, and then they cover it with a metal cap. Well, over the years, these caps leak, and we have found that in the past quite a bit. And you'll notice if you take your carburetor apart that there might be a sealer. They probably, this one had it, they had a sealer on it, but the sealer was disintegrating and coming off. So we just scraped the rest of it off and put JB weld on here to seal them. Okay, I'm going to have my faithful assistant hold the camera, and I'm going to show you a couple things. Back off a little bit. These things, this is the power valve cover, and you can see it's warped. But let me put this straight edge up here. Close in. There you go. See how it's warped? They warp on all the sides and they leak. That side's pretty bad. Look at how bad that is. So these got to be straightened. I'll show you how to do that later. Okay, earlier we talked about warpage, like the power valve plate. You can see that's warped pretty bad. You can just look at it and see it's bent. There's a couple ways to do these. One way is you can hit it here and try to flatten it. Now, I'm not going to mash on it. I'm just going to get in there pretty close. Oh, that's damn near, yeah. This one's a little off. Yeah, that's off a little bit. Okay, and then for the finishing touch, I do this. I'm just tapping it. You can buy these new if I'm not mistaken. At least I used to be able to get them new. You can check with the Thunderbird dealers. Yeah, that's pretty straight. This one needs a little bit more. Yeah, that's pretty straight. The gasket will take up the rest. You know, these warp over time. They get hot, you know, and that's it, and they warp. Okay, so the accelerator pump cover is also warped. It's slight, but it's enough. And you can't see it on camera. I measured it with a straight edge, and you can see that it's, you know, it's bowed. You can kind of see it. It's bowed at each end, you know. And so you have to do the same thing with this that you did with the power valve. Take a punch and very gingerly, you know, try to straighten it. Maybe here, or it's hard to do. There is no right answer. Or find one that's not warped. But this one is. And you can see it's got a ridge for the gasket. It's got that rib to kind of bite into the gasket. So this is a sealed unit. This seals the accelerator pump right here to the case. You know? So that has to be straightened. The kit does not come with a secondary diaphragm. It's a mystery to me why, but that's just the way it is. The kits do not come with the secondary diaphragm. So here's the one that came out of the carburetor, and you can see it's got a lever on it so that it fits into this hole. There's a hole there. See? But the new one doesn't. And the kits used to come with these. So you'd put this in, and it's got the lever on it. But this kit, the kit I have, one of the kits I have didn't have it. So they're supposed to have that in there. So you put these in, and then you can use that. And also when you put these in, you make sure that the hole is up here. And that's the same thing with the lid. Let me have the lid. The lid, when you put the gasket on, you see that hole right there? The gasket, this hole, the gasket has a hole on it also. See right there? So when you put the lid gasket on, make sure you're putting it like that instead of like this. I've seen them come off like that before. Okay, here's the secondary diaphragm. Doesn't come in the kit, by the way, so you have to buy it separately. Here's the part number, the one I bought. Walker. And I put the plastic lever in, which has a stud. And the diaphragm goes over the stud. You know, the old one had no stud. The diaphragm had the stud on it. New one doesn't. When you put the secondary diaphragm cover on, and again, you have to make sure that thing's straight as well. This one's pretty good because it seals the diaphragm. So if this gets warped, you got to deal with it. So you've got to make sure when you put this on that the hole here continues to stay, the vacuum hole continues to stay lined up. And the problem is that when you put this on, the spring wants to drag the diaphragm into the hole, see? So you have to really be wary of that. It wants to drag the diaphragm into the inside. Okay? Okay, another thing that's critical, that's usually missing when you take these apart, are these dams. And this is the passageway from the secondaries to the primary bowl, secondary to primary. And you can see both the dams are in place. This carburetor had them, but usually they're missing. In most cases, they're missing. And this is what they look like. See, like that. And they slide in like this. Okay. Now you can get away with one. If you only have one, you can get away with one. But if those are not there, then when you make a right-hand turn and brake, it'll stall. Okay, on the lid, one of the things you want to make sure about is that it has all the vents on there, these copper tubes. Characteristically, they're missing, and they should be there. Now, will the carburetor work if they're not there? Probably. But this allows them to vent up high. I really don't know the reason for that, so I can't tell you. Sorry. I got lucky with this carburetor. It had all these parts on it that were in good shape. It looks to me like this carburetor had low miles on it. So anyway, make sure your tubes are there. Okay?